Greetings, fellow trench plates. Today we'll be showing you how to make a resource pack that overwrites the default note block sounds with sounds of your choice. Now, I only really know how to do this for Windows users. I don't know if this will work for Mac users. It might, but don't count on it. There's probably other tutorials out there that will help you with making these resource packs for a Mac user. So there are two limitations when making a Minecraft resource pack that replaces the note blocks. One is that it will apply a limiter to the volume. So when you play a lot of note blocks at once, it might duck them. So it helps to make the sounds a little quieter than the originals. Maybe minus 6 dB for the loudest sound or something like that. The second limitation, and this is kind of scary, is that it will remove all aspects of moving around and having the volume get lower as you go further away. So that's bad if you're planning to use the delay effects that I built into the machine. However, it's also good if you just want really consistent volume for your noteblock songs. Now, you don't have to replace all the sounds. You can only replace a couple if you want, but you can replace all of them. And I will show you how. Overall, though, I'd say give the default sounds a chance. A lot of them are really good and really versatile and have their own character to make music with them. A resource pack in Minecraft is something like this. You put it in your resource packs folder in Minecraft, and it replaces like the default textures and sounds with sounds of your choice. There's a structure to it, and so we have assets, which is going to be all the textures and stuff. We have pack.png, which is just an icon, and we have pack.mcmeta. We need all of these for it to work. They need to be exactly like this. The pack is just a PNG file. It could be pretty much anything. Pack.mcmeta is this code thing. So these are all double spaces between here. Like here, look. 1, 2, right? Here it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2. Yeah, and you just put 7 is the number you would use for a 1.17 resource pack. It'll yell at you if you have the wrong number, but it really doesn't matter. You should probably put 7. It's just what you should do. Description is just, it shows up when you're selecting the resource pack. It can be anything you want, right? And then you would just hit File, Save As, and you're just starting this as a text document. And you go to like desktop or something, go to all files, type in pack.mcmeta. Then it should save it, just like this. And that's what you need to put in there. Now here's the other things. Inside this assets folder, we have assets, Minecraft, sounds, and we have 2 folders. Note is the one that we're going to be using. Records is just a cool thing. You can replace the original music in Minecraft with the music discs and use music of your choice. You just have to name it these names. It'll replace that particular disc. So like mall. What's this? Cool. And for note, these are some of the names. I will show you all of the names for different note block sounds. So every one of these names aligns with a block type that you put under a note block in Minecraft. But I'll make a list right here of what the actual blocks are. Okay, so here's the types of blocks that correspond to different instruments. And these names are specifically for making the resource pack. The actual instrument names are sometimes different. Like xylophone is named xylophone, and every other reference of that instrument. These are also kind of hard to find, and I had to find some of these through just experimentation. So here you go. I hope This helps a lot of people. Now, as you're making the different sounds, which I'll show you in a second, and you export them, like I have here, noteblock sounds wave files. I have all these different sounds. So I had my own piano, and it kind of sucks, honestly. I wish I'd rather just use a normal noteblock piano, but whatever, it's a piano. So logically, I would rename this to Harp 2, because that's the existing piano sound in Minecraft. And if I made this sound the piano and renamed it Harp 2, then dirt would trigger it, air would trigger it. Yeah, exactly like that. Sometimes it's nice to keep the sounds like logically similar. So if you're in a multiplayer server and you're doing this, which by the way I don't recommend because they're all freaks about redstone lag and it's all uh, horseshit. They don't understand a thing about it, and you'll have bad luck if you try making no block songs there. So don't even bother. But like, it's nice to have note block songs where if you use the resource pack, it sounds good, and if you don't use the resource pack, it also sounds good. So try to keep things aligned. You don't have to, but it's useful. So the last thing I need to tell you about the structure here is that when you go to make it usable, you need to highlight all of these and hit send to compressed zip folder. Because you can't have a zip folder with a folder inside within all this. It has to be these three items just sitting right there in the zip folder. No extra stages. So let's look at making the sounds. Yes. And go to this. Now I already made a bunch of sounds, but I'll show you like the specifics of all this. Here is 16 different sounds. We have a piano, we have a saw, pluck, like a bass pluck, the sound, that sound, the sound. So we have all these sounds. Now you'll notice with some of these, like this one, it dies out quickly. Like it has a volume envelope that prevents it from going like forever. And so all of these other envelopes here are for instruments which I manually make sure they don't last more than a certain amount of time. If you have note block sounds last forever, you can reach a threshold. If you're playing a lot of note blocks at once, it'll cut off note blocks that are playing for a while. Like there's some sort of polyphony limit. So you make these sounds and you make sure they don't last probably like this long. Also know that I have my BPM at 150. Now since OGG files are 44.1 kilohertz and our instrument at normal pitch that we're making may or may not have frequencies above 10 kilohertz, we have to worry about our lowest octave not having any sound above 10 kilohertz. This means two things. One, it's going to be hard to simulate in FL Studio without rendering out the sample. Now, this also means that when you have drum samples as note blocks, you'll have to tick them up 12 notes. You could have it default to an octave lower and render the instrument an octave higher from FL Studio, so that when you just place the note block, it's the right pitch. But again, you'll lose those high frequencies. Now, as for simulating how a normal instrument will sound when it's pitched up or down as a note block, we can mess with both the tempo and the pitch of an instrument to sort of simulate how it will sound. Now, it's not completely accurate either because, again, things above 10 kilohertz, and because our filter envelopes would have to have full key tracking. Now, this example instrument doesn't have that, but it'll work for now, okay? So if I wanted to simulate a sound, how it would sound at the lowest octave, I would half this BPM, and that works because my instrument is tempo synced, like that. And if I wanted to see the highest, I go like this. I go 300 BPM. It'll give you some idea of how it will sound, but it's not perfect because the filters and stuff are still in place. Okay, so I have all these sounds, and most of them are pretty short, right? Like I can select the volume envelope here. I should probably have this on 1/2 beat like it was before. And a lot of our envelopes will be this long. Some of these instruments don't have an envelope because they automatically stop here within the VST. But like if I play this, oh, wrong choice. Okay, I think the piano one that I did is this envelope here. It cuts off the reverb. Whoa! These two envelopes here were just me not liking the sound of two percussion instruments. So I edited it a little bit in real time with volume automation. You can also do some mixing in here. You don't have to. Depends how you're making the sound. And at this point, leave the volume alone for every one of these instruments. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take each instrument, like say the piano, like we were doing before. We have to know how long it is. So since I have that volume envelope here, I'm going to make it this long. So that when I play this, it's going to reach the end of the volume. The volume will be 0 on the piano at this point. Then we're going to go to File, Export, Wave File, because we're not done yet. We're going to save it to somewhere like here. Alright, so I'll name this piano. And I already did this, but I'll overwrite it. Yes. Just like that. And it just exported that section. We can then go into our folder and verify that it made it work. Good. So I'm going to export every one of these sounds just like that. And I'm going to change the length of this selection depending on the instrument that I'm exporting. Like now I'll export this, which is only 2 long. Export wave file, desktop, noteblock sounds, super saw. So make sure you do that for every one of the sounds that you have. Again, you don't have to make a sound for every noteblock type, but you do still have 16 slots available, so you can use them all if you want. Once you're done exporting all of those, go into a new project like this. Oh! Grab all your noteblock waves, like this. Place them in there. I screwed up. I'm going to put this over here. Ow! And now we're going to mix them all. It's easier to mix them all now that they're exported. Just going to set these to individual mixer tracks. Now, as is nature with mixing, sometimes you'll have instruments that you realize, oh crap, I'd like to shorten this, or I'd like to apply an EQ curve to this. You can still do that, of course. Just apply it to the instruments. And then painstakingly mix all of these to a volume that sounds good. And the way you can do that easily is making all sorts of patterns in here, right? And just hear how different sounds are in reference to a different sound. We'll hold off on this one because it's kind of taking up everything. I'll just press a key to do that. Yeah, and also when you're mixing, realize that the instrument will change in pitch entirely. And since these are samples, it will now accurately change length and pitch. See? Very slow, very fast. Exactly like note blocks. I already mixed all of this already, so Here you can see. So it sounds alright, maybe ever so slightly on the quiet side. You see, now it's like a little loud on the bass, but not too much. I had to hit that sweet spot between it being a high-pitched instrument and being an earth-shaking bass instrument. So that's just one thing you might come across. Now, once you're done with that, you're going to highlight an individual instrument. So I'm going to do acid bass first. I'm going to export OGG file. And I'd put that in like here. So this is our acid bass. Yes. And we'll repeat that process for every single instrument in here. And sometimes you won't want to use VLC to check a sound. I'll show you why. If I play back the clav, let me show you how it really sounds. Here. Sounds fine. When you get to playing OGG files back in VLC, it might sound completely different. There's basically no sound of the clav as an OGG file. It's just a click. Also things like pluck bass. You hear that horrible phase click. Now don't worry, it's most likely that these are just artifacts from using VLC Media Player. So go to like here or something, like Discord, and send those files into there. Sorry. There we go. We can see it has no artifact. And same with the clav. Again, these are the OGG files. We then want to consult our list here and think about how we want to rename these. Because like, oh, my kick, I probably want that to replace the stone, which is named BD, because the stone makes the kick sound in Minecraft. So just things like that. It doesn't matter too much what you name them. It's just what block you have to put under it to get that sound. Now what I'm going to do is I can either use an existing resource pack that I made before like this. I can just use this structure. You know, delete the things in notes and place those new sounds in there. Or I can make from scratch. So first we need to rename this folder Note. Then I need to name another folder Sounds. Place that in here. Create a new folder Minecraft. Place the sounds into Minecraft. New folder Assets. Place the Minecraft in the assets. And then create a pack.mcmeta text document. Open. Curly bracket. Enter. Space. Pack. Parentheses. Semicolon. Space. Bracket. Pack format. Space. Parentheses. Pack. Underscore format. Parentheses. Colon. No. Colon. Space. 7, comma. Space. Parentheses. Description. Parentheses. Colon. Space. Parentheses. Something example. For the video. End parentheses. Enter. Space. Ending curly bracket. Enter. Final curly bracket. Save as. Pack.mcmeta. I mess it up. MC Meta. All files. Save. Now I can delete the text document. Put that here. And now we need a picture. Let's look for a picture. Doesn't matter what it is. As long as it's a PNG. We'll use this. Sure. It's a dank meme. This is a JPEG file. So I'm going to open Paint. It's a pretty easy way to convert it. Just place it in there. File. Save as. PNG desktop save. And that's going to be this one here. We're going to rename our image pack. We're going to highlight all these, send to compressed zip folder. Banana pack. Yes. We're going to cut. We're going to put it in here, which is local disk, users, your account name, app data, roaming.minecraft resource packs. So we paste it, we close, we go to Minecraft. Okay, so we're in Minecraft. We got some note blocks playing. You can hear them. Pretty normal. We could add this. We could add this in. Cool. Now let's see how it sounds with the resource pack. You should see it in here. You have our meme. You have banana pack. You click on the little arrow to get it in. It should look like this. Hit done. Have things load. And then whoa. 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 Amazing. Now watch this. See, the volume plays at 100% until you go 40 blocks away. Then just straight up dies. That's unfortunate, but that's how it works. So if you use a resource pack, you are sacrificing that functionality. However, if you are using a resource pack, I haven't tested this, but maybe you could use like DC voltage and hopefully not blow your speakers, but have like a DC voltage ramp or something and play it next to the note blocks. Like, you just have a sound as a note block that's a DC voltage. And what that would do is it would use the built-in compressor in Minecraft for its audio, and it would make everything else quieter to compensate for the DC voltage. So you try something like that, maybe make a ramp or just a straight line. Many things are possible. Let's go inside our machine and verify that everything works. All of our notes. There we go. We have our array of note blocks, our piano, wood, crazy. Excellent. And then of course I can switch it off if I want to. And now the volume effect is back. I don't think the Minecraft developers trusted people to make functional sounds and resource packs. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. So that said, this is the end of this tutorial. You should now know how to make your own resource packs. And as with the previous video, I will link my Google Drive folder containing all relevant files, including the world file for this, and the resource pack, and with the sounds and all that. And if you find it in that folder, it's yours. It's Creative Commons. Go ahead. Anything you make with it, yours. Even the sounds within the resource pack. Yes. Well, that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. And as always, bye!